Hey everybody, KC here. So I'm coming to you this morning from Newark Airport. Actually, lucky me, I'm coming to you from the United Club at Newark Airport. And there are a couple of things that I wanted to talk to you about this morning as I'm sitting here waiting to catch my flight to San Francisco, where I'm going to get a car, and then I'm going to drive out to Monterey for the annual Organic Produce Summit. And once again, it's my privilege and my pleasure to be on the agenda. I'm really looking forward to it. Um, Two things to talk about this morning. One is the notion of friction. Now, it's interesting. When I got here to Newark Airport this morning, and I came here pretty early. My rule is when I come to Newark, I go very, very early so I can avoid all the traffic from Connecticut. But one of the things that happened is I dropped off my bag, and then I went to clear TSA pre-check, got right through, not a problem at all. And then I came right up to the United Club. Now, these are all ways in which I've gone out of my way to eliminate friction in my experience. It's worth it for me because I've always traveled so much, except of course during COVID, to invest in things that make the traveling experience faster, better, more convenient, and gives me places where I can work. That's really, really important. The airlines don't do it as much. I do it. But for retail businesses, I think once again it's important to look around and say, okay, where can we eliminate friction in the experience? If you're not looking at your stores and you're not looking at where the store interacts with the customer and saying, okay, where are the pain points, where are the friction points, and how can we eliminate those to the best of our ability, you're missing an enormous opportunity. And yeah, things are tough right now. We've got a lot of inflation, we've got recession, but that's no excuse for missing the opportunity to eliminate friction. Again, when you're traveling, you kind of do it for yourself, but at retail, it's the kind of thing you really have to focus on. That's number one. Number two, it's funny as I sit here, I think about the last trip that I was taking when I was going on vacation to the Bahamas, and and JetBlue managed to really totally screw things up. Now, they didn't fly. The flight was supposed to leave at 10. It didn't take off at all. They delayed, and as I told you a week or two ago, then they finally canceled it at like 11 o'clock at night. The problem was the problem was the plane didn't take off, but that wasn't entirely their fault. Their real fault was they didn't communicate about it. They didn't communicate they had a problem, so they had really, really angry customers. Customers might still have been upset, but it wouldn't have been as directed at JetBlue as it was if they'd managed to talk about it. And that's, once again, things that retailers have to do. You have to talk to customers about the store experience. Listen, prices are going up. There's still a lot of problems with out of stocks. You're probably having problems with staffing. That may be creating lines at checkout. But if you at least talk to your customers about these problems, explain the reasons behind the problems, and tell them what you're trying to do to alleviate the problems, at least you have a shot at keeping the customer on your side and not having them abandon you for another store experience. Communication is key. It's all about creating relationships and maintaining relationships with customers. That's what happens when you talk to them, and it is also what happens when you eliminate friction. Anyway, I'm sitting here. I hope my plane takes off. I'm looking forward to going to Monterey. That's what's on my mind this morning. And as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.